You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Are here with Lifeline Journey. My name is Clarissa Alcantara, and I am your radio host this morning. I'm coming to you from Quigley in the Chicagoland area, Quigley Center in the Chicagoland area, and it's a beautiful winter morning. And with us this morning, we're going to be spending some time looking at supporting youth ministry and ProjectYM. It's an organization I'm also going to learn about this morning alongside you, our listeners. And so with us this morning is ProjectYM and Crystal. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Tell us a little bit about who you are, a little bit about, ProjectYM, and you are not in Chicago, and you have an amazing background. So tell us even, where are you virtually phoning in from?
All right. Well, my name is Crystal Marchand. I am the member guide and experience engineer over here at ProjectYM. So really, that's a fancy way of saying I am the relationship person. So we are actually in Chattanooga, Tennessee. So I'm coming at you from our studio in Chattanooga. Oh, sorry about that. And I actually am from the suburbs of Chicago. I lived in Barrington, so I grew up in Barrington and went to school in Chicago, and then met my husband in youth group, campus ministry or whatever. And then after we got married, we moved down to Houston, where he's from, and I started being involved in youth ministry with him. And he created, along with two other friends, ProjectYM in about, I think, 2013. ProjectYM was born, and what we do is we train, support, and equip youth ministers across the country, around the world, just so nobody feels alone and they can't do this, because ministry is really hard. So we're a youth minister's best friend.
That's awesome. So 2013, so you're almost 10 years old.
I am almost 10 years old.
Oh, not you, but the Project Y.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are almost 10 years old, yeah. So it'll be next year. Geez, wow. That's a long time.
And so tell us a little bit about, this is the first time that, I've heard about it, and I think I follow you on Twitter. But how is it across the U.S. you support ministers, or is it regionally, or what does the system look like?
So our network spreads across the country. So most of what we do is virtual. We offer a membership, online membership community called Thrive, and we put out online courses. So we were doing the virtual teaching before COVID and before it became cool. So I guess we were the trendsetters in virtual life. And then in addition to that, we do live events. A parish can hire us, or a diocese can hire us to come out and put on a leadership event or a training event. We'll do anything to, accompany youth ministers and make them feel supported.
That's great. So one of the questions then, I know this is on the sheet, but, I feel like we can kind of vibe a little bit. So since you have been doing this, youth ministry in a virtual setting, or even supporting ministers in a virtual setting before it was cool, how has it changed? And by changed, I mean pre-COVID, right? Pre-2020 to what it is now. And, tell us a little bit about that.
Well, pre-COVID, people were still trying to figure out, well, what does it mean to meet virtually or take a class virtually? There are some people who've done online schooling. I actually did my master's online. And so some of us have had experience with taking online classes, but not really like interacting with each other virtually. So it was like pre-COVID was, okay, what is this? That's kind of cool, but I still like to read my books or, just gather together with 100 people and get training that way. And then during COVID, it just, it really exploded. So what we were able to do during COVID is, because we already had the virtual, infrastructure set up and the community, is we hosted a weekly live virtual youth night, which live and virtual sounds like they don't go together, but it was live streamed virtual youth night every week, so that youth ministers could sit with their youth groups or give their youth groups the link, for their families and stuff like that. And so we reached over 20,000 teens over the course of COVID. And we did 2 seasons of that. So we did one right after another. And now, unfortunately, everybody's kind of experiencing virtual burnout. Mm-hmm. So it's it's making us be innovative and try to find other ways to keep it interesting, shorter times online. And then fortunately, we're able to start doing some of the live events again, too.
Wow, that's interesting, because it's I know when we were starting to shift to like virtual stuff, it definitely, because it was a new place for us organizationally, and a lot of people who we were working with weren't so used to it, that shift really just took a lot more effort in terms of like how to set it up, like what is it going to look like, kind of the even the cadence in which we were meeting. And so to hear an organization say, we were already there, and just kind of the adaptability, can you talk a little bit about that? Just how easy, well, not even easy, because I imagine there were things that you had to shift, but, it seems like you seem to be a little ahead of the game. It's like we're already here, and so we're one step ahead, and we're being innovative and creative, and, shorter times online and thinking about in person. And so what does that look like, just in terms of, always staying like a little ahead of the curve?
Well, fortunately, like our team is great. We have this amazing team of people who, we're all creative people. We're all in youth ministry, so you have to be creative and adaptable, and just one step ahead of the teens, right? Like they say, if you're teaching, you can be a teacher if you're just one lesson ahead of your students, right? And so we just always think about, what should be coming next? What is the next biggest thing? How can we better? We're always striving to be better and to better accompany people, and because life is so changing, ministry is changing, the world is constantly changing. The way that we could minister to you a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago is not going to be the same now. It's not going to be the same next year. And so that, fortunately, our team, like, that's just the way our brains work, we never stop. We just keep going.
Yeah, no, I definitely imagine working with the teens who are already kind of forward thinking anyway, creative, like already so far ahead of adults that they're like, all right, come on, like we don't want to get bored. You have to keep us engaged. If you want us to come back, you got to stay ahead. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll hear a little bit more. Thanks.
Great.
Join Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago for an exclusive preview night of the 2022 Chicago Auto Show. It's First Look for Charity on Friday, February 11th at the Cormick Place. By choosing Catholic Charities as your charity beneficiary, you'll have access to our private pre-event reception featuring cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, live entertainment, and our always spectacular raffle. Our special guest and MC will be NBC reporter and anchor Lauren Petty. Plus, you'll be free to sample an array of amazing food and beverages from local businesses throughout the auto show. Your ticket also entitles you to a chance to win one of 2 brand new vehicles in a drawing on the main floor. This is a black tie only event, so get ready for a spectacular evening, seeing the auto show in glamorous style for a great cause. Proceeds from the Catholic Charities reception benefit our programs and services in Cook and Lake counties. To purchase tickets, visit CatholicCharities.net/firstlook.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
At Catholic Charities, we fight hunger in Chicago throughout the year. Our 6 regional offices in Cook and Lake counties work together to offer sit-down and to-go meals to anyone in need. We deliver meals to those who are homebound, and our 8 food pantries offer 3 to 4 days of food supplies based on household size. Participants in these programs have the opportunity to learn about other Catholic charity services that strengthen individuals, families, and their communities. The challenges for those dealing with food insecurity are especially great during the winter months. To learn how you can help those who are hungry in your neighborhood, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7525. That's 312-655-7525. Thank you for your generosity. Good morning, and we're back with Lifelong Journey, a radio program hosted by the Office of Lifelong Faith Formation in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Clarissa Alhantera, and we are joined by Crystal Marchand. She's down in Tennessee, probably not as chilly as it is in Chicago. And we're talking about ProjectYM and kind of how it's supporting youth ministry today. And in the intro, you talked a little bit about the fact that you were part of, youth ministry when you were here in the suburbs of the Chicagoland area. And so I'm kind of curious for you, what was your experience in youth ministry like? And so for our listeners who aren't, maybe it's been a while since they've been part of youth ministry, or they maybe never got to experience it, why is something like this important for them just to even hear about today?
Well, because I think that so I've been in education for 12 years too. And I love kids. I love teens. I love child development, all that kind of stuff. And, it is so important that teenagers, really everybody, but teenagers especially, have more than just their parents or guardians or caregivers as strong, healthy adult role models for faith, for life, and all the areas for their development. And so when I was in high school, I went to Catholic school from 4th grade all the way through college. And when I was in high school, I started getting involved in our campus ministry. And some of the most life-changing events I had were on a retreat, whether it was a Kairos retreat or the sophomore retreat. And then I got to start leading retreats. And those events where we are just, together for a weekend and really hearing talks about how God loves us and how he moves in our lives. And we're building those relationships with each other too, and sharing our faith lives with each other, which doesn't honestly happen often for teens, and so that was amazing to me. That really changed my heart. And then when I was 17, I got to go to World Youth Day in Rome with our youth group at church. And it was you grow up always hearing that the church is universal. Catholic means universal. Everybody around the world, you could go to mass at any country in any language and it would be the same mass. But you don't really get that, like really understand that until you're in a place where there are people who all speak different languages and we're all celebrating mass together. We're all worshiping together and seeing thousands of people, really solidified like what universal meant for me. And since then, I've been a very community oriented person. I'm way more motivated by community than anything else. And so as I've been in education and in teaching, I realized like I've seen a lot of people, kids and teenagers and even adults who they are much more successful in life, much happier in life when they are surrounded by a solid community, a community that supports them, a community of people who share the same values and thoughts and priorities. And, that's not to say like you agree on everything. Healthy discussion, healthy disagreement is good, right? That's what keeps our world entertaining and not boring if we all thought the same way. And so, being in college, then I sought that out. I sought out community that would still motivate me to go to church on the weekends, to just to keep me going down the right path, or put me back on the right path. And it's over the past 15 years that I've been actually doing professional youth ministry. That's the thing that doesn't change. Things like, phones and clothes and resources from generation to generation change. But the thing that doesn't change is the need to feel seen, to be accepted, to be included. And so we at ProjectYM have this passion to provide that community, that sense of belonging, that love and support to youth ministers so that they can then go out and provide that love and support to teenagers and everybody, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's also great to hear how even your own experiences help form maybe how ProjectYM sees community now. It sounded like the supportive community that you were in as a young person really helped inform and help you think about, well, if we really want to be successful and really successful in a sense that like you can be supportive, create community, build resources out. I mean, your own experience really helped shape what, ProjectYM has kind of become.
Definitely. And, we, over the past, Michael's been doing youth ministry for decades now. And the thing that really motivated him to start ProjectYM, him and his friends who were also youth ministers always heard that I feel alone. I feel isolated in this position. Most often the youth minister is the only one at their parish. Sometimes they're the only one for like 3 or 4 parishes that they have to serve. Nobody really understands what I do. I feel undersupported. I have no idea what I'm doing, and like that leads to burnout. That leads to people sticking around in a job for 6 months to a year and then disappearing and maybe leaving ministry altogether, which not only is sad for the person who has those gifts to minister to others, but that is so sad for the teens that they're leaving too, because like if it takes adults kind of a minute to build trust into somebody else, it takes teenagers so much longer to truly build trust and build a solid relationship with an adult. And, like if they just leave because the adults don't have anybody pouring into them, it does a disservice to the entire church. We risk losing our young people, and we see now that young people are leaving the church and they don't feel like they belong, or they don't fit in, or nobody's ever made them feel like they're included, that they're truly part of this universal church. And so, you always hear at least in ministry, the buzz term is like, you can't pour from an empty bucket. And so many youth ministers out there are passionate about what they're doing, but they're so empty. Their buckets are empty. And so our passion, our love is just to pour into that bucket. One of my most favorite things about my job is that I get to speak with youth ministers and help them with like real problems that they're currently facing. We don't just put out products and like, here, this is the one size fits all to youth ministry, and this will magically fix your ministry, right? Like Michael and I both, we're on the phone with people multiple times a week, helping them figure out something simple like what to do for their next parent meeting, or, all the way to deep things like, we had a death in our ministry. How do I accompany my teens? Or I need to advocate for my job because of COVID. How do I advocate for myself and my ministry and my job? And so we're there. We're in the trenches. We get it. Michael and I still are involved in youth ministry in our local level. We volunteer. We're there. We've got a teenager ourselves and 3 others that will someday be teenagers, So like at ProjectYM, the bonus is that we get it. Everybody on our team has been involved in ministry and in the trenches. And we just want to support those who are also in the trenches.
Nice. Well, thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and take another break, and we'll be right back.
Great.
Join Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago for an exclusive preview night of the 2022 Chicago Auto Show. It's First Look for Charity on Friday, February 11th at the Cormick Place. By choosing Catholic Charities as your charity beneficiary, you'll have access to our private pre-event reception featuring cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, live entertainment, and our always spectacular raffle. Our special guest and MC will be NBC reporter and anchor Lauren Petty. Plus, you'll be free to sample an array of amazing food and beverages from local businesses throughout the auto show. Your ticket also entitles you to a chance to win one of 2 brand new vehicles in a drawing on the main floor. This is a black tie only event, so get ready for a spectacular evening, seeing the auto show in glamorous style for a great cause. Proceeds from the Catholic Charities reception benefit our programs and services in Cook and Lake counties. To purchase tickets, visit CatholicCharities.net/firstlook.
We are at the Most Blessed Trinity Parish Food Pantry in Waukegan.
And here we care for people in need. There was definitely an uptick in the needs for services.
We doubled our volume after COVID hit, from servicing about 250 families a week to about 500 a week. We supply bread, tortillas, vegetables, milk, cheese, butter, proteins, fish, chicken, eggs.
Well, the annual Catholic Appeal has been a tremendous help to us, especially over the past year and a half.
Without the annual Catholic Appeal, we might have to close our doors. Our parish is the largest one in the Archdiocese, but is very poor. We think about food and we think about nourishment, but we also nourish the soul, provide that connection to humanity.
The good works here are made possible through the annual Catholic Appeal. Make your gift at annualcatholicappeal.com.
At Catholic Charities, we fight hunger in Chicago throughout the year. Our 6 regional offices in Cook and Lake counties work together to offer sit-down and to-go meals to anyone in need. We deliver meals to those who are homebound, and our 8 food pantries offer 3 to 4 days of food supplies based on household size. Participants in these programs have the opportunity to learn about other Catholic charity services that strengthen individuals, families, and their communities. The challenges for those dealing with food insecurity are especially great during the winter months. To learn how you can help those who are hungry in your neighborhood, visit CatholicCharities.net or call 312-655-7525. That's 312-655-7525. Thank you for your generosity. And we're back with Lifelong Journey, a radio program hosted by the Office of Lifelong Faith Formation in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Clarissa Alhintera, and I'm your host. And joining me on Zoom is Crystal Marchand with ProjectYM. And so we've been talking about relationship building and youth ministry. And so for you, one of the questions I like to ask our guests is, where for you have you encountered Jesus, like in this time, you know, in either experiencing youth ministry yourself as a young person, or maybe in the way that you've experienced or met Jesus kind of now in your role, or both? I mean, hey, let's go.
Or both. I've always, even in my like really stubborn teenage years, you know, where it's like, whatever, I'm too cool for Jesus. I've always had a connection with adoration. There's just something really beautiful to me. And then it's always like this idea of being Mary versus Martha, you know, has always been really appealing to me. And so having the time and the ability to just sit with Jesus, you know, I often wish that I could just sit with like the real person, you know, but that was a long time ago and I wouldn't be alive talking to you today. And so adoration has just always been really, really beautiful. And there's this great story, this past, so I'll go with youth groups to Steubenville as like a chaperone volunteer and stuff. And I've always really connected with the story of the hemorrhaging woman. She just had this such desire and faith that even if she just touched Jesus's cloak, like she would be healed, you know, just such strong and beautiful faith. And I, you know, so whenever I was at Steubenville or any kind of conference where, you know, Jesus walked around the room, I always wanted to reach out and touch, but I was so afraid, not because of like what I wouldn't get, like, you know, like would I not get gifts or anything like that? But I was always afraid of what the Holy Spirit might actually give me and that I wouldn't be able to handle it, you know? And I'm like, well, I don't know, you know, like you're giving me too much and I don't think I can handle it. Right. And so this past summer we went with our youth group to Steubenville, Atlanta. And I had told, you know, I was a small group leader for the girls. And I told them, I was like, guys, this year I'm going to do it. I'm just going to reach out and, you know, when the priest walks by me, when Jesus walks by me, you know, in the monstrance, I'm just going to reach out and, you know, just let my fingers graze his, you know, garb as he walks by. And they're like, yeah, okay, cool, Crystal, go, you know, like they were so into it. And so, you know, Jesus is walking around and I'm, you know, it's a beautiful moment. We're all praying, you know, worship was amazing. Sarah Kroger was there and I love her. And Father, I think it was Father John, I don't know his last name, Father John, came and he was going by and I was like, oh, as he passes, I'm going to touch him. And I was facing him and my hands were out like this, like, you know, like the receiving position. And he stops right in front of me and like his vestments just fall into my hands. And he stands there for a good like 20 seconds. And I'm just like holding, you know, I'm just sitting there like holding the cloth. And it was this beautiful moment of just, peace and yes. And as then, you know, Jesus moves on, I just think he sees me, you know, that was just this moment of Jesus sees me. And it was very affirming to me because I think at that point I was starting to be just burned out, you know, because of COVID. And this was the first event we got to gather since everything had been shut down. And I was feeling kind of burned out and it was just beautiful. It was like Jesus sees me. And so afterwards we were talking, we were processing. And I was like, girls, did you see that? And they're like, yeah, he like stopped right in front of you. And while you were praying, I was just like, wow, Crystal got to touch him, you know? And so it was a beautiful moment spiritually, like for me personally, but also a beautiful moment to be able to share that with my teens, you know, like I feel like it really brought scripture alive. And I know I'm sorry if I'm rambling. I just like it was such a cool experience. I was like, I've always wanted to, and I finally got to, you know.
I wasn't sure where that story was gonna go. If it was like Jesus passed and you were like, wait, come back. I was waiting for I literally was like, wait, is it gonna be like, come back, Jesus, come back? Anyhow.
I chase him down the aisle.
I know, right? Adoration. Here's Crystal just like doing circles now with the monstrance. No, that actually does sound like a very beautiful moment in which, you know, one that was really like just heaven sent in a sense that like in that moment, the monstrance, Jesus, the priest, it was like, no, we're just going to stop here. And even just to allow you that space of like, it wasn't just like, hey, let's keep moving, but it was like, hey, and just like enabled you to just receive.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. And I don't know, it just brought such joy to my heart. It's like, yay.
I can sense it. So that's actually a good lead into the second question, which was when we think about scripture and, you know, if there's a one or two favorite scripture passages that you have that are for you very specific to the ministry, either of, you know, the ministry of working with youth, because I know it sounds like you still do that in a volunteer capacity, or the ministry of like ministering to those who minister with youth. If there's, you know, something from our sacred scripture that really just, you know, absolutely calls to you.
I love all the stories of when Jesus personally walks to his disciples to call him or to call them. He goes to the crowd, you know, to feed the 5,000 and preach that, you know, Sermon on the Mount. He goes to people. He goes to Zacchaeus's house. He goes to, he goes to where the people are. And that just resonates with me. He doesn't stand there and say like, yeah, I'm the Son of God, you know, like, come over to me, you know. It's a personal invitation. And it's so, to me, that's so what ministry is about, whether it's youth ministry, young adults, family ministry, anything like that. You know, it's we need to go meet people where they're at. And I love, I love this idea or the story of when Jesus washed the feet, you know. It's such a great example of servant leadership. And so I keep all that in mind when I do what I do, when I minister to other people. And I also love, oh my gosh, so many things. The road to Emmaus, like he met them and he walked with them and just listened to them. He let them unload on him and talked to him and accompanied them. And, you know, then once, you know, he revealed himself and their hearts were on fire, then they were able to go out and like they had their buckets filled, you know, like that's what I want to do. I want to go and just walk alongside you. I want to listen to what you're saying. I want to listen and pray with you and accompany you so that you can go out and just be on fire and keep doing what the Holy Spirit called you to do.
Those are both, you know, those are definitely some of the classic ministry stories. When you talk about going out, one of the things that I find interesting is like the hybrid ministry that you have. So it's both virtual and then it's like in-person events, maybe more in-person events as, you know, as more people are getting vaccinated and Omicron and, you know, maybe passes us. So can you talk about like what it means to go out in the ministry context that you're in? Because it's both like this, right? You and I are going out this way, but then, which is probably more of the going out than it is maybe the in-person events.
Yeah. So, you know, we do things like this, like having conversations with other people, interviews with wonderful people like you, Michael, and sometimes but mostly Michael, travels to, different parishes and different dioceses to, you know, do training events. And we are, you know, we have a presence at like, and, oh my gosh, all the acronyms like NCYC and stuff like that. We go be where people are doing ministry because we can't get a good feel of like what is happening if we have you come to us and you're not in your natural environment. I don't know if that makes any sense. I hope,
yeah, that does. That does.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I didn't know if you had if there was more to that thought or.
Oh, I don't know. I think the thought just kind of like ran away.
Well, so then when you talk about going to where people are at, I mean, so in the virtual world, I mean, this is it. Like all you see is my box and then all I see is yours. So then how is it, like, can you walk me through how that ministry of going out looks like when you are just here on camera?
So we have Thrive, which is our online community, online membership community. And so we reach out, we invite people to be part of that. It gets spread by word of mouth. We, run Facebook groups. We do a lot of video calls, and because like I get so distracted if I can't see your face, then I'm, like looking off squirrel kind of thing, yes.
That's a lot of different ways. Yeah, no, that's definitely that's definitely a lot of different ways, because there's like the social group, like the Facebook social group. And so that's just like, mass, like whoever's on the group gets it. But then it also sounds like one-on-one. And so virtually, like you can come and like be present that way. Or it also sounds like if you're, hosting or in earlier when you were talking about your youth ministry live events where people were, like you were, you were going into the teens' living room, you were going into the youth group office. And so you were literally, whatever was, in front of you is where ProjectYM was going.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool, actually. Like I've been over the last 2 years doing a lot of video calls with people, and like people haven't been in their offices, right? Like for the first year and a half of COVID, I was having video calls with people in their living rooms. And so it kind of, it was really cool to have that one step further of intimacy, of relationship building and trust right there. Is like, I'm not sitting here having a conversation with you. I'm sitting in my living room, or maybe the wall is clean, but I got my kid popping in and out, and so it broke down a lot of those barriers of, like, we've all got our stuff together, because nobody's got their stuff together. So that was really cool, being being able to have that one-on-one, and wherever you're at, like Jesus said, come to me however you are. He didn't say like, anybody who wanted to like bury their dead first or sell their belongings first, he was like, yeah, no, you're not ready, but he asked people to just drop what they're doing and come together. And that's really how we do ministry, just come as you are.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. Well, we'll go ahead and take another quick break, and then we're going to come right back.
Great.
Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, Catholic Charities has continued to respond to the needs of people who come to us for assistance. More than 850,000 meals and food parcels have been offered to those who are struggling with food insecurity. Over 108,000 homelessness prevention hotline calls have been answered. Over 22,000 people have received mental health services, and $2 million in financial assistance has been provided to keep people housed. If you or someone you know needs assistance, email us at gethelp@catholiccharities.net. That's gethelp@catholiccharities.net. Or call 312-655-7700. That's 312-655-7700. Before, during, and after COVID-19, Catholic Charities is here for you.
I am a seminarian.
The church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood, is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534 7959.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, and we're back with Lifelong Journey, a radio program hosted by the Office of Lifelong Faith Formation in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Clarissa Alintera, and joining me via Zoom is Crystal Marchand with ProjectYM. And so we've been talking a little bit about youth ministry, what it's looked like, scripture, kind of going out, going in, all over, networking, all that good stuff. So one of the questions we like to ask on the show, since this is a show hosted by the Office of Lifelong Faith Formation, when we talk about supporting youth ministry and supporting youth ministers, what in our church teaching, in our scripture says that, we as a church need to support people in this way, right? To support the people who are going out. I don't know if there's documents that, that ProjectYM leans on, Christus Vivit, anything like that, where you kind of see the need of either going out with the youth or going out with those who are ministering to the youth.
Well, full disclosure, I have a bad memory, and so I couldn't tell you.
Okay, that's okay.
I know we are commissioned to set out and make disciples and to evangelize, and but I have nothing earth-shattering to
That's okay. Sometimes the guests will come on and they're quoting pretty heavily, which is okay too. When we talk,
that's other people's. That is definitely other people on our team's skill set. That is not mine. I definitely was that kid who I studied for the test and then I forgot it the next day. So that's the way my brain works.
Yeah, no, that's definitely cool. That totally get it. Sometimes I'm the same way. When we talk about, commissioning and going out, and you were talking about your Thrive community, can you tell us a little bit more about, how that works and how that helps, create that space for those who are commissioned to go out?
Right. So it's very exciting. We started this, several years ago. I came on in 2017, and that's when our Thrive community was really starting, right? And the idea of calling it Thrive was we want to take people from drowning or just surviving to thriving. You shouldn't just be surviving in life, you should be thriving, right? And that's definitely a buzzword right now. So within our community, we have if you're part of Thrive, you have access to things like courses. We have hundreds of hours of course content that has been recorded by us, by some guest speakers, by other super smart people, like people who can actually quote things that I can't in the field of youth ministry, doing courses for us. So we've got Jim Beckman and Rich Curran and Annie Grandel. So, some of the super smart people. And then the community aspect, there's, you will connect with people who are in ministry from all over the place, all walks of life, your brand new baby youth ministers to your well-seasoned, experienced youth ministers that have been doing it for 35 years, so there's there's resources and there's connections and there's people for everybody. There's a place where you can ask questions. We have within Thrive, you can also share your own resources. If you came up with this awesome youth night or prayer experience and you're like, I want to share that, I want to get that out there, you can share that too. We're very big on collaboration and brainstorming together. You know, like ministry is an area of plenty, right? It's not competition, but there's plenty of love in God to go around, right? So we should all be working to support each other. And the attitudes within the community are just beautiful. You know, new people come in and introduce themselves, you know, in our hello forums, and people right away like, welcome, so glad you're here, you know, post comments, they'll ask questions or ask for prayers and stuff like that. And the community is so there. We're always praying for you. We're always helping you out. We're walking with you every step of the way. I feel like I'm really good friends with so many people I've never actually met in real life. So which is really funny in this like virtual age, right? That you can be friends with somebody in like Canada for years and never have met them face to face. We also do a live event, like an in-person live event every year that we call Thrive-A-Nooga. So like you come to Chattanooga and it's Thrive, you know, Thrive-A-Nooga. But it is an intentionally small, we call it a non-conference. It's a time to brainstorm, to collaborate, to problem solve. Because at ProjectYM, we don't deal in theories, right? You can go to conferences where there's thousands of people and some awesome speakers, and they'll tell you all the things, and you're like, this is so amazing. How does that apply to my ministry? But so what we do here is we take those theories, we'll tell you those theories too, but then we tell you how to apply it into real life. We help you come up with a personal plan for your ministry. You jump on a phone call with us, or you ask somebody in the community, like, I have 8 kids, and I love the idea of small group program, but I only have 8 kids that come. How can I, what can I do? And then everybody in the community helps you formulate a real plan for that specific problem. And that enables you to go back into your ministry and implement something right away and feel like you have a quick win. Like, yes, I can actually do this, you know? So it's very inspiring. And what's really cool in Chicago is we have a Thrive partnership. So that means is that the Archdiocese of Chicago has come on as a partner and bought Thrive memberships for every youth ministry in the Archdiocese. And so that's huge. That's beautiful. And everybody can come on together and talk with each other, which, like, I'm guessing that, you know, growing up in the Chicago area, like, the people who are up in the north side, you know, northwest suburbs area, very rarely see the people down in the south side. You know, like it's so huge, you know, and so this not only gives you an opportunity to connect with people, with different members of you know, youth ministers around the world and around the country, but also in your own archdiocese, you know, and to share ideas and to share thoughts. And then within that is we are actually coming to Chicago twice this spring to be with you, to put on some trainings, to listen to what you have to say, to really get to know the Archdiocese of Chicago better, the youth ministers of the Archdiocese of Chicago better, but also to you know, be there with you to help do some training, some office hours, and you know, build those connections. So we're very excited about that. And like I said, it has a special place in my heart because St. Anne's in Barrington was my parish growing up. So I really, that's my home.
That's awesome.
Why I got married. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I want to go to Thrive-A-Nooga. I just like the name Thrive-A-Nooga.
I know, it's so cool. It's so much fun. We it's not your traditional conference at all. We don't sit, there's no keynotes. We actually all stay in one hotel together that is amazing, called the Moxie. And then we do all of our we call them conflabs, but our discussions and work and stuff in a brewery across the parking lot. It's owned by a couple of Catholic guys, and they invited us to come in. And if you've never been to mass in a brewery, it's the coolest thing ever. Like, so it's very laid back, and we have seen already. Our Thrive Anuga 2022 is our second one. We, about a month after Thrive Anuga 21, we had a phone call, like a video call with people that had gone, and there was already a month afterwards. They were already seeing the fruit from the work that they had done in Thrive Anuga. They had already come back to their parishes and started doing some of that, and already seen some amazing fruit. So it's a beautiful time. Thrive Anuga will be in September 25th through 29th, I believe. And then Michael and I will be in Chicago March 25th and 26th for training. And then there will be 28th and 29th, we're going to do some office hours, some one-on-one meeting time. And then that's for the north side. And then on the south side, we will be there April 8th and 9th for training, and office hours that following Monday and Tuesday, the 11th and 12th. So, wow. I don't know, we're just very excited to come, and hopefully it won't be snowing, but my birthday is in April, and growing up, it is often snowed on my birthday. So it'd be kind of nice.
Well, we'll take another break and we'll come right back.
Great.
Join Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago for an exclusive preview night of the 2022 Chicago Auto Show. It's First Look for Charity on Friday, February 11th at the Cormick Place. By choosing Catholic Charities as your charity beneficiary, you'll have access to our private pre-event reception featuring cocktails, hors d'oeuvres, live entertainment, and our always spectacular raffle. Our special guest and MC will be NBC reporter and anchor Lauren Petty. Plus, you'll be free to sample an array of amazing food and beverages from local businesses throughout the auto show. Your ticket also entitles you to a chance to win one of 2 brand new vehicles in a drawing on the main floor. This is a black tie only event, so get ready for a spectacular evening, seeing the auto show in glamorous style for a great cause. Proceeds from the Catholic Charities reception benefit our programs and services in Cook and Lake counties. To purchase tickets, visit CatholicCharities.net/firstlook.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
And we're back with Lifelong Journey, a radio program hosted by the Office of Lifelong Faith Formation. And we've been talking with ProjectYM and Crystal Marchand about Thrive Anuga. Oh my goodness. If I don't have plans in September, late September of 2022, I'm going to, hey, boss, can I want to go down to Thrive Anuga to this, what is it? This confab?
Conflab, yeah.
Conflab at, the Moxie Hotel, but really the brewery across the street. No, Tell me a little bit more about the trainings like that you're going to be hosting for our Chicagoland youth ministers. What are those trainings going to look like? And I imagine you're probably doing maybe the same thing in both locations, or is it this here? And, okay.
So we'll have 2 days. So the first one for the north side is going to be March 25th and 26th. And those are 2 days of training. We'll talk about things. We'll introduce people to Thrive. I know we've got a lot of youth ministers who have already been part of the community and active for a while. So we'll just make sure to give an overview of Thrive, how to use the resources, how to, what the benefits to them and all the little perks and stuff like that. And then usually, what we really like to do is we've been working with the diocesan office, talking about just getting a feel of like what are things that they hear that their youth ministers need. What are some of the areas like parent involvement or volunteer involvement? We hear, we've been talking about how to improve parent relationships and how to minister to the family, how to get, kids to come. So we work with we've been working with the diocesan office to create a very specialized training, 2 days of training for the needs of the archdiocese. And then so throughout that we'll do some talking and then a lot of small groups, get people to talk to each other, collaborate and brainstorm, because we really believe everybody comes with their own life experience. Everybody comes with their own tips and tricks, right? Everybody comes with their own viewpoint. And so, it's an amazing thing to be able to work together instead of just we're going to stand up here and talk for 2 days, So we'll be doing some, give people a chance to create some plans and some strategies, some things to do in their ministry to solve some of the problems of lack of volunteers or uninterested volunteers and get parents and kids to start coming back and be participating again. And then the following Monday and Tuesday, after the training event, Michael we'll be hosting office hours. And I will be heading back home because I need to, I'm on family duty. So Michael will be staying there to host office hours, and anybody can set up an appointment to come in and sit with him and talk about specific challenges that they're facing, and get an opportunity to work out a plan to solve those specific issues. And so there's 2 full days of office hours, and it's bring all your problems, even if you think it's something as simple as I don't know what sign-in software to use, or something simple like that, or something I need to squash everything that I've been doing and start over. How do I do that? So no. I guess they say no problem is too small, which sounds really cheesy, but bring all the things. And if you just want to come and have us pray with you, if you want Michael just to sit there and listen while you sob and vent or while you celebrate, that's what we do. We want to celebrate with you. We want to sit there and cry with you. And then we'll be doing some really great we'll spend a lot of really great time in prayer, some spiritual fulfillment, some spiritual nourishment, that kind of stuff, so that you leave this weekend or the training event feeling like, I've got 5 things in my pocket that don't hold me to that number. I just said the number 5, but I got 5 things in my pocket that I know that I can go and make this week, this month, this next 6 months, this semester, a huge success. And then to get you, make sure everybody's tapped into the community.
Awesome. Well, Crystal, it's been really a pleasure and an honor to spend the better part of an hour with you and just learning more about you, about ProjectYM, about the Thrive community, and even hearing a little bit more about kind of what the trainings and the office hours are going to look like for the Chicagoland ministers. Well, thank you so much again.
Thank you for having me. This has been lovely. I hope I wasn't too awkward. I'm incredibly socially awkward. And once I start talking, I'm like, I just don't stop. So thank you for letting me do that.
You are so welcome. It's been a pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
on Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.